Hello, I'm Hannah, and I'm going to be telling you a little bit more about my poem today. Well, I will say that outside of poetry, I study environmental and health science, and through my love of science and natural world, it naturally merged with my poetry to talk more about the climate crisis. Because as we all know, it is increasingly getting warmer with every new season, and global warming is really a thing that we need to pay attention to. And I feel that in order to get people to care, I need to appeal to their emotions, because not everyone is captivated or pulled in by just pure numbers and what science will tell us about the climate crisis. We need to have more climate artivism, and that's where I come in. It wasn't always like this. You started strong, lungs clean, every breath steady, full. But then came the first spark, small, innocent. No one thought it would stick. No one thought it could spread. This opener, I didn't want it to be obvious that this poem was actually about the climate crisis or forest fires or anything like that. I start off talking about smoking and addiction because I feel that that relates to humanity's affinity for destroying the planet, in that I mirror the same type of destruction through destruction of the lungs, the body, through smoking and addiction and deterioration, in that there are people around this specific person who are feeding this sort of destruction, and we are feeding the same destruction and perpetuating it over and over again when we talk about the climate crisis, global warming, and forest fires that we all see on the news quite often. And I feel that also with that, in a lot of indigenous languages, there is no separate word for nature, where humans are removed from nature, in that our bodies are also connected to the natural world and we should not separate ourselves from it. So I talk about destruction of the inner body in relation to the outer body of the natural world. But one match became two, two became a habit. The smoke clung to you, bandaged around your ribs, burrowed into your breath until exhaling felt like a chore. We didn't say anything. We watched as you lit another and another, watched you change color, yellow teeth and black lungs. Your voice grew raspy, your coughs deeper. You looked jaundiced in places, skin cracked and dry where the fire kissed it. The cravings got worse. The smoke wasn't enough anymore. You needed more fuel, more sparks to keep dancing in circles. We tried to justify it. Everyone has vices. Everyone burns a little. And then we realized it wasn't you. It was us. We were the ones who lit the first match, placed it in your hands, and told you, breathe in. You see, that part, when I talk about pointing fingers at someone, or that it wasn't you, it was us, that is when I start to slowly break down the fourth wall, and I start to point fingers at all of us in the destruction of humanity and how we're destroying the environment, and that, you know, we point fingers at everyone else but ourselves, and we really need to have some accountability of ourselves for what we're doing to the planet. We were the ones who fanned the flames, not caring what it consumed. It wasn't your skin that cracked, it was the soil beneath you. It wasn't your voice that rasped, it was the wind, choked with ash and heat. Your lungs were never meant to carry this. They were once green, stretching wide and free, the creator in their grasp, each breath a gift to the sky. And here is where I start to reveal slowly that who I'm actually talking about is not a real person, but it is the planet that I'm talking about in this, in terms of who has this addiction in the poem, and who is being hurt the most. It is Earth. But we've turned them into ashtrays, one clear cut after another, one tree after another, until the forest turned to photographs. I'll tell my kids about you when you're gone. You see, this is the part where I explicitly start to talk about deforestation and climate change and destruction of natural spaces, to make it more obvious where the poem is transitioning to and sort of surprise the audience in a big reveal that I'm not talking about people, I'm talking about the planet and how we're destroying the natural world, and also looking into the future for younger generations coming up, and how are we going to preserve this planet and our home for future generations in terms of sustainability. We've gutted you. Your roots claw at scorched earth, searching for water that no longer flows. Your rivers crawl under the weight of soot. Even the sky can't watch. It's blue, dimmed by the haze of what we've done to you. I'm sorry for the smoke, for every match we struck, every flame we fed, every bush we burned. There's no promise of redemption here. No greener grass on the other side, because we burned that too. And there is when I talk about how we don't have a planet B. There is no second option. Everyone wants to colonize the moon, but realistically, that's not feasible. Just the quiet hum of embers, the slow collapse of lungs that once carried this world. You'll keep burning because we can't quit. And when the last match is struck, and the final breath escapes you, everything will be gone in a puff of smoke. And I leave you with that puff of smoke because everything in our natural world is slowly disappearing before our eyes, and it's getting faster at the rate of destruction, in all facets, whether it's related to animals, plants, the water, everything. And we really don't, and I find that a lot of people are doubting how we'll be able to save the planet and that it's a lost cause and we should just give up at this point. But now is the ideal time to do something. We need to start doing things now, and we actually do have time to fix things. So I leave you with the puff of smoke in that we don't want our planet to disappear. Like a magician and a magic act. Thank you so much for listening to me and my poetry. I'm Hannah Flores the poet, and I am one of 8 incredibly talented poets that are a part of Extended Mic, and I hope that you will check out all of our work and continue to see our growth. I think I will need the notebook because I don't know. Is this your phone? Did you removed? Yes. Yes. Bye bye phone.